Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing? Hope you're doing well. This Mercury retrograde has really got me kerfluddled. I don't know how else to put it. Oh man, it is really throwing me for a big time loop. That's all I gotta say. I wound up with, I was going through a whole myriad of emotions yesterday. Memories that I had forgotten about coming flooding back. Um, yeah, and of course, definitely the miscommunication going on, and and I know it's also because of the other retrogrades. I mean, let's face it, this is our third retrograde since the start of the month, and of course we still have Chiron at the end of the month. And I wound up with the biggest headache. I mean, right in my temples. I don't, both sides. I mean, it's been just nuts. Yeah, already. I still have until, I think it's August 20th, basically going into September because of, the post shadow. Still have to deal with, and then, of course, the other retrogrades. And of course, Uranus went into Gemini. So yeah, it's just been a bit intense. I had said since last month, if you recall, with my videos, I had said this was going to be an intense month with these retrogrades, and yeah, it sure has been. So yeah, it's just been wow. That's all I can say. So, anywho, here I am. I'm trying to sort things out in my head, and all I want to do is just take things one step at a time. That's all I want to do, and it's like everything is just racing through my head. So, I definitely need to work on getting myself grounded and so forth. I'm seriously thinking about maybe doing a smudging, maybe do a reading, just to help get myself balanced and so forth. I woke up early this morning, just after 6, something like that, and was seriously thinking about doing my yoga, going for a walk, and so forth. But mostly I just needed to go to the bathroom, and of course things were flying through my head, and I'm just like, yeah, just chill, you know? I feel like I'm revisiting with these retrogrades. I think I've said this before. Actually, I know I have said this before. Without these retrogrades, I feel like I am revisiting a whole bunch of crap. And, uh, um, especially, and it's not just crap from the last year, 2 years, or what have you. This is going back a ways. Um, and whether it's to show me, well, I think that the one thing is to show me how the reason I am now with a certain issue. I really believe that, and it's like, okay, it's like, yeah, I've always been this way. Could be because partly because I'm shy, but partly because I feel very uncomfortable in those situations, especially when it comes to being romantic. I've always been very not too sure how to handle them. It's like I like somebody, I've always felt that it should be the man who should make the first move. That's what I was taught, too. I don't know. I always have felt awkward when it comes to those things. I've always felt very awkward. Yeah. And I feel that it should be that it's that you should be a lady too. I've kind of always been old-fashioned in those ways. I don't know. And I feel like that's something that's really coming out right now with things. Maybe not to be so old-fashioned and just go for it. I'm not going to say I haven't. I have done that in the past. And I I'm just trying to figure out if it, yeah, I guess in some ways it worked out, some ways it didn't. Um, I don't know. I don't know. But either way, it isn't just that issue that's coming out. There's some other things that are coming out as well. And it's like, okay, things that I'm having to revisit. So, I don't know. I'll admit, I just feel really off in some ways. I know I keep kind of fading out here, thinking on things. Um, I just feel really, really off with a lot of things. Just in general, really. Like I said, this Mercury retrograde has really thrown me for a loop, big time. And I just, yeah. just feel really, and right now would not be a good time. But then again, it might be the best time. Finally clear the air with things and be done with it. Yeah. So, anywho, it's kind of where I'm at right now. But anyway, I'm gonna move forward with things either way, and go from there. We got some clouds here. We kind of had storms. We really didn't have anything immediate or anything. Closest places that we had storms anyway. We had some off to the southeast from us, like Illinois, Indiana, something like that. And then Montana would be the next closest. Found out Montana is really not that far. With looking at the radar map last night, I'm like, I really didn't put two and two together. Well, it's interesting because when I was working the other night, I saw a plate from Montana. You see quite a few, of course, Wisconsin and North Dakota. See some others, but so far since I've moved here, as far as I've seen a few from Cali. Couple of were expired, so yeah, they've been here for a little bit. One expired in September, another one April. And it's like, yeah, in order for them to be able to get new tags, they wouldn't just be able to pay and have them sent to them. They have to actually go back and get a smog check done. And what's bad with that is Cali is probably one of the more stricter regulations when it comes to the smog checks. Nevada's pretty simple, but at least the smog check that I had done in Cali, when I had seriously considered relocating there at one point, it was a little bit stricter, and it was definitely more expensive, that's for damn sure. So anyway, yeah, there's been some Cali plates. Saw one from Arizona, this guy driving around in his convertible. And then there was one I saw from Washington. I just got thinking about that. That wouldn't be that bad of a drive. Probably what, a little over 12 hours, something like that, depending on what part of Washington. Probably still a 2-day drive, come to think of it, because the long way, the long end, we'll put it that way, of Montana, that would probably be a good 6 hours, like Arizona. Arizona is about a 6-hour drive in order to get through it. So yeah, that would be a pretty good drive. I would love to see Montana. I know I sound like Sam Neill now in Hunt for Red October. I would have loved to have seen Montana, which is so funny because that was never in the book. Yeah, no, that was never, Montana was never mentioned in the book. And no, it wasn't Maine that they wound up hiding the sub in the end. It was actually right out my old back door there in Virginia. Yeah, literally out my back door. It was Norfolk Naval Shipyard, which was just right there where I used to live. I mean, literally right there. it backed up to the back end of my neighborhood, basically. Yeah. Oh my goodness. So, but anywho, yeah, that was quite enlightening. And it's like, wow, I could go and explore some of these other areas and so forth with being here. But of course, I gotta, especially Montana. I would love to see Montana. I've always been intrigued by that state. I would love to go see it. Who knows? Might be some place to settle. I don't know. We'll have to see. I don't know if and that's of course an issue that of course that keeps coming up too, is it should I, I mean, I haven't been here for very long either. And, and I'm exploring things, and, there's things that I like, but there's things that I really don't like either. I don't feel, in many ways, I don't feel that this is someplace that I would want to stay, to be perfectly honest. I really don't. And I'll admit, that was one thing that came up last night is with some memories that came flooding back, and it really was in relation to a conversation that Angie and I had the day before about something with her. I won't repeat it. I felt like it was a private conversation. But anyway, yeah, I felt that I feel like, well, in some ways it reopened my eyes to things, but I felt like, because I had thought, oh, maybe I'd go back or something. I had longed to go back, but then revisiting that and also seeing something else. There's just this picture. Well, because I was remembering somebody I'd forgotten about, and I was thinking, well, I wonder what they're up to or whatever. One of those sorts of things. And I wasn't able to find them, which I didn't think I would because they weren't that sort of person. Like being on social media or whatever. But I thought, well, maybe I might be able to find them through, just a Google search or something like that. Sometimes you can find people that way. But still wasn't able to find them. But there was this picture I came across from the old area, and that had some, I don't want to say triggers, but yeah, it was just like, yeah, no, I don't miss it at all. I really don't. So, probably some nostalgia kicking in, But yeah. And it really made me think about any place where I really just felt like I was. The only place I really ever felt like I was ever at home was Vegas. And now I'm here, or I don't want to say at home, but where I belonged. Put it that way. It was really there. But at the same point, with everything that happened and how much it changed, I don't feel like I belong there anymore either. Especially the changes that are happening. And of course, it made me think about, the NDE I had, and near-death experience, for those of you who don't know. It made me think of that. It made me think of you know, just the planet in general, and just, you know, and everything that's happened since I had that experience, and this and that, you know, and the struggles I've had, and and feeling like I just don't belong at all, period. Because of what I experienced. And that's what I mean. I'm having so many things going through my head, you know? Such a jumble of everything, and I'll admit I'm just trying to get myself grounded. I feel, actually, Angie nailed it when I was trying to explain to her how I was feeling, you know, with everything I was going through throughout the day yesterday. It was like I would feel one thing. I woke up yesterday morning. I initially woke up feeling, oh, great, beautiful, bright blue, sunny skies. Everything's great and everything. And then it wasn't long after that. Actually, I think it was after I did the video yesterday morning's video. Anyway, the first one. I shifted into feeling very frustrated, anxious, depressed. I was even crying. And of course, it was, you know, and I went out to get the few things that I needed. I came home. I, you know, did that video. You know, of course, I had stopped off, you know, did a little bit of window shopping, you know, this and that, you know, feeling frustrated, and did that second video, and, you know, and just really myriad of emotions yesterday I was going through. I was explaining that to her, and the fact that I got a freaking headache like you would not believe, excuse me, because of it all. And anywho, she's like, you feel like you've been going through a spin cycle in a washing machine. You know, you're this way, and then next thing you know, you're being thrown another way, and then you're being thrown another way, and then you're being thrown another way. And I'm like, exactly. I was thinking of it more along the lines of like a car. You're going full speed ahead, and then all of a sudden you have to hit the brakes, and then throw it in reverse, and then spin around, and yeah, that's how I've been feeling. And it's like, yeah, I even made these cookies, and they just don't taste right to me now. But then again, some of the ingredients changed a little bit. I ran out of vanilla, so I had to use what was in the house. And it was this one where she's been doing it. It's definitely full of alcohol. I don't think they realize what they're doing with that. It's like, yeah. And it's a bit watered down, too, unfortunately. And then, well, Rick was heading out to the grocery store, and I realized I only had 3 cookies left. And I'm just like, fuck, I gotta bake something. I'm like, well, if you pick up some butter, I'll go ahead and make us all something. And he's like, okay. And of course, he'll jump on that bandwagon. Anything to get homemade cooking, homemade baked goods. It's like, and that's one of the things. It's one of the reasons why he keeps me around. Not just the banter. Being able to have fun bantering. He knows that I'll do it, and I get all the jokes and so forth. It's like, yeah, it's no big deal. So he won't admit it, but he misses me when I'm working. So, but anywho, excuse me. But you know, and of course I do organic, and he's like, I'm sure you're gonna want the organic. I'm like, yep. I'm like, well, if it's too expensive, then, or if they don't have any, because with where he was going, I wasn't too sure how much it would be or anything. I'm like, don't just pick up a thing of heavy whipping cream. He was just like, okay. And, well, he wound up getting some, he was like, yeah, I got your butter. It was $10 and whatever. And I'm just like, I told you if it was too expensive, pick up some. No, I got you your butter. No, no, no. And he was insisting. Like, fine, whatever. Then don't complain about the fucking $10. I, so, but anyway, yeah. Um, so I took out the butter and put it on the stove because I know that he was going to be getting the kids' dinner going. He just bought a pizza, and I figured, just let it soften up there on top of the oven. And did that, but with it being unsalted, I think it was made it a little bit different also. I'm not too sure. But it's like, I've made these cookies before with homemade butter, and I don't salt my butter. So I don't know what the difference was, or maybe it was just because of the different vanilla, but there was just something different about them. They weren't, I don't know, they weren't as good for some reason. But then again, my taste buds may be screwed up anyway. I don't know. Yeah. She's just laying there up against me, kind of sleeping. Here she is. She's sound asleep. We don't want to wake up the sleeping baby. So, but anywho, yeah, like I said, things right now are just really kind of messed up with me. Whether it's healing or whatever, I don't know. Pre-shadow with Chiron going retrograde, and then of course all the other retrogrades. All I know is I'm just really funky right now, and I just need to get a handle on things. Well, that was the thing too. He was saying, I know you believe in all this stuff. I'm like, no, it's not that. This actually happens. I feel it when the planets or whatever go retrograde. I feel it. And whether you realize it or not, you also feel it. You also go through it. Especially, and it happened last night. When I had said something to Angie, she thought I had said something else, and I'm like, see, Mercury retrograde. And it's like, okay, still disbelief. And I'm like, well, when your electronics start going haywire, yeah. I swear, when I meet Mr. Mercury, when I die, I am going to punch him in the face. I'm sure he's used to it. Mm. And that was what was weird too this morning. My body got really, really cold, and even the heating blanket wasn't warming me up. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know. That's what I mean. I'm all over the place, and I just need to get myself grounded, cleared, and get myself grounded. That's what I really need to do. And I need to get my cards out here. She said she was going to see about packaging everything up after she got done with something that she was doing. That's what she texted me back with that, and I haven't heard from her yet. I want my stuff. Period. So, but anywho. Alright, I should probably go. I'm just feeling very, very off with a lot of things. With everything. Doesn't matter what it is. I am feeling really off. So, yeah. Anywho, I'll talk at you soon. I love you guys.